Welcome back to another episode of Couples Night, episode 4. Very surprised that there's more than one this year.
Yeah, I was hoping to go in fractions, like 0.5.
So we were actually, it was funny, I was actually going to talk to you that we should we should make like a Couples Night episode for like the Microsoft like conference that happened like this like 2 weeks ago. But then like shortly after that, like Sony announced that they actually are having a state of play instead of like that whole PlayStation 5 announcement like video. So I decided we should hold off, and then we're going to do 2 and 1 because we were just talking about it. A lot wasn't really exciting about either or. There wasn't really anything exciting about Microsoft. There really wasn't anything excited about PlayStation. Like just a couple of things here and there, and then like that was about it. You know, right?
Yeah, pretty much. There was a good chunk of stuff there. We're going to be selective about what we talk about just because we're filtering out the things that stood out to us specifically. Yeah. But what was the first thing that came to your mind when we went through the Microsoft thing? Like, what game made you go, "Wow, I actually like this game"?
I would probably say Medium was really good. Dusk Falls was really interesting. Yeah, I would probably say
Not even Tell Me Why?
Tell Me Why. Yeah, Tell Me Why. But Tell Me Why I knew about, like, before Microsoft's press conference.
Well, yeah, but you got to see a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting. Because I know you love Don't Nod stuff.
Yeah, so. I really like Don't Nod. And Tell Me Why is actually coming out at the end of this month. So I'll probably pick it up. They're actually only doing, like, 3 episodes instead of the 5 episodes. True. And I think all 3 are coming out. But we'll get into Microsoft, like, a bit later. I figured we haven't done this in a while, considering we've been gone for a while. Yeah. We're going to talk about what we currently played over the summer. It's August right now, so the summer's basically almost over. And since we were gone for a while, there was, like, a lot of stuff that we either, like, caught up on or replayed. Something both of us played this past summer was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
We both played that. We really enjoyed it. Do you want to get into spoiler territory with 7 Remake? Or, like, not?
Not really.
Okay.
Just because, It's still relatively
new.
early. It came out back in April. Yeah. There's a lot of people that didn't play the original FF7.
Like
obviously, the internet's going to be like, it's a 20-year-old game. Some people were born
that's so
way
crazy.
After. And they are the new generation of players. There's a 13-year-old kid that's probably like, I like RPGs. What's Final Fantasy VII?
That's so
crazy. And he's staring at you doe-eyed going like, that looks cool. He has a really big sword. Can I play that? Sure. But no, let me tell him about every little spoiler that this game has, because I'm an elitist gamer.
It's very crazy to think about the fact that there are children who are definitely born in Final Fantasy VII was not even anywhere close to being out yet.
Or like, put it this way. A kid was born back in 2006, right?
Yeah.
He's now 13.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm putting it in that perspective.
That's really crazy.
Because he didn't even know... Because the PS1 era at that point was way over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were in, PS3
He doesn't even know what that is.
Yeah.
He's like, what's that gray thing? Is it a square box?
What's this block thing Mom has in her shed?
Exactly.
Yeah, we both really liked it. I mean, you went through, when 15 came out, you went through, like, a Final Fantasy, play. Like, you played 1 through 14.
Yeah, back in 2015, when they started seeing a lot of trailers for 15, I remembered them back when I was younger because it was the Versus trailers back then when Noctis was sitting on the throne.
Right.
He broke a guy's neck and it was bloody.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered that trailer when I saw the 15 trailer announcement.
Right.
During an E3 event. I was very excited for that game. I had a lot of expectations for that game. It didn't meet up to what I wanted.
Oh, no.
But, it's what it is. I'm never going to crap on the game. I'm going to criticize on it because it just couldn't keep up to what... If it had been done properly, I think that game would have been like the modern 7.
Yeah.
Because it had the potential to really do that with what the lore it had, with the ideas it had.
Yeah.
But, a lot of it got squandered, and that's just the reality of it. But during that time frame, because I grew up, I never played Final Fantasy because I didn't have a PS1.
Right.
I basically grew up with a Super Nintendo and then a GameCube.
You were a Nintendo boy growing up.
but I was never a fanboy of that. It was just what was in front of me.
Yeah,
right?
You had what you had.
So... The only Square Enix property I had played growing up was, I guess, technically Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Because I had it on the SP, and I played Chain of Memories after I played Kingdom Hearts 1 at someone's house.
Right.
Then my friend Eddie at the time let me borrow Kingdom Hearts 2, and I played the hell out of that game, and I loved it.
Right.
Then I just never played Final Fantasy. I actually played the Tales of series.
Yeah.
And then when I got a PS2 late into its life, I think '06 is when I got my first PS2.
Me and you have very similar stories with like Final Fantasy. Like it was the same thing. I wasn't a Final Fantasy kid growing up. I was a Kingdom Hearts kid growing up.
Yeah.
Like I remember like me and my brother used to share a PS2 and like that was like my game. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 was like my game to play on the PS2.
Yeah, you tell me those stories. Like you just didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
And you were so lost for God knows how long.
Well, I know you know, but it was very funny because we have in our house, we have like a front room, which now is basically like a laundry room.
Yeah.
But when we were kids, that was like our playroom. And as you know, for some reason, everything in the room is hooked up to like a switch on the wall. So if we were playing games and if somebody hit that switch, everything would turn off in the room, the power, like, yeah. So like there were times where we would be playing and if I wanted my brother to get off, I would like flip the switch.
Oh,
and I'd be like, it's my turn. I don't even flip it.
That's a gamer thing. That is legitimately a gamer thing.
It would go vice versa. Like,
oh, yeah.
He would be like, it's my turn. And then he would flip it and I would be pissed.
And you know what baffles me?
What?
The situation you're explaining to me is absolutely terrifying, right? How is it that you still don't do multiple saves? And how is it that you don't save every 20 minutes? You save every 2 hours and then complain when this thing randomly turns off.
Listen, I don't... I live in an era now where everything has an autosave feature. Mm-hmm. I don't have to save. Mm-hmm. I think, what were we playing? I feel like I forgot. We were playing something, and the game was auto-saving, but I didn't realize it had nothing to save to because I didn't write a save file yet. And I think I had played something for like 3 days in a row, and you came over, and you went to go save, and there wasn't even a save file set up for it yet. So you were like, you've been playing this game for 3 days, and you haven't even saved yet. And I was like, sorry.
I don't remember what that game was.
I don't remember either. The only time recently I remember us having is I got Shenmue, remember?
That was a tragedy.
Yeah, we put 2 or 3 hours into Shenmue, and I think you went to go plug in your phone into the wall outlet.
Over there.
Yeah, and I have like a power strip that's connected all the power, like the cable, so like the TV, the PS4, and the computer, and you like knocked it out by accident. I didn't save, so we lost all that time with Shenmue.
It was a blessing in disguise. Because why play Shenmue? Okay, look, I'm not going to say this in a bad way. Shenmue, when it came out, was a very, very great game for its time.
Yeah.
But in its modern life of where games are now, Shenmue's just not a great game.
No.
And I will say that honestly. And if I offend someone, I'm not going to apologize for that. But I want to be very honest about it. And obviously, everyone's going to compare it to Yakuza.
Yeah.
Because Yakuza became the successor of Shenmue's ideas.
And they're both Sega games.
They're both Sega games. And, you know, it became the popular one after Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
But it will never take away what Shenmue was in its time.
Yeah.
And I will never say that Shenmue was, like, gutter trash.
No.
When it came out, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But now, you can't push those same concepts and think you can get away with that. No. Shenmue 3 is an example of attempting to do that. Suzuki... Get some hope.
Homie, please. Like you had potential, bro.
Develop modern games, please.
Yeah, so we both played 7. Obviously, we both really enjoyed 7. I think we both agree that the only downside about 7 is, God, we don't know when part 2 is coming out, and it makes you really upset about it.
The thing with 7, because when she was playing the game, because she played the OG 7 only, like, the first, like, 30, 40 minutes, and she would always do it over and over and over.
Yeah. I'm playing it now, though. We're like almost done with disc 1.
But the thing is, she went through the remake, she played the whole thing, she beat it, and I kept telling her, this is the first 5 hours of the base game.
Which is sad.
And you know, at the time, she was like, that can't be possible, probably somewhere in the back of her head.
Yeah.
And she beat the game, and then I was like, okay, now that you beat it, I let's go play the first one. Because there's things relative to that would be spoiler specific in the remake. But we went back to the game. She beat it in that entire section that was the remake.
Yeah.
In 4 hours and 40 minutes.
It was very funny. I was literally like, we're done. We're out of Midgar. And I was like, this took me less than that. It took me 4.5 hours or something like that. It took us to get out of Midgar.
Pretty much.
And
you were trying to do stuff too.
Yeah, like I was exploring. Like I wasn't trying to rush through the game. Like I definitely was taking my time because I really wanted to see like some of the differences between like original 7 and remake. You know, like I wanted to see like some of those things.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I can't. I was like, it took me 4.5 hours, and I was like, this was a 40-hour
I wasn't
game.
lying when I said it.
I was like, what the hell? Well, because like that, and the other thing too that baffles my mind is because I was expecting once we got out of Midgar, we would play a little bit, and then I'd be done with disc 1. We're not done with disc 1.
Nah.
We're like 25 hours in Final Fantasy 7 right now, and we are not done with disc 1.
Nope.
I am currently up to. We went to Gongaga.
Yeah.
We went to Gongaga. We saw Red 13's stone father.
She got pretty far in disc 1.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like, I would say we're more than halfway, like.
Yeah, we're probably three-fourths of the way, but once you beat that disc, and you get to disc 2 and disc 3, that's where like the main components of 7 really kick in.
Yeah.
There is a few side things gated in that game in terms of like story lore.
Yeah.
And it's because at the time they didn't consider it necessary, but it is great lore to understand the events happening.
Yeah, like you can miss 2 whole characters and not.
They're never in any FMVs either.
Yeah, so like you can literally miss 2 whole entire characters without like going throughout all of Final Fantasy 7. Like Gongaga, for example, like that little like town. You can miss it. You don't have to go there, I found out. Like you don't have to go to Gongaga, which is like
you get little spurts of info with just going there.
Yeah, like it's kind of crazy how much like info like you can like that piano thing we were trying to figure out.
Tifa's melody.
Yeah, like apparently in the original Final Fantasy 7, there's like a flashback sequence, and in the flashback you have to play a piece on a piano. Because if you don't play it then, you don't get a cutscene later on.
Basically.
And I don't think we did it right because we were trying to figure it out. And we were like, we'll look it up. Yeah. We're like, it's not that important.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, 7 was great. We also played together, which I just finished literally 2 days ago. We played Star Wars Fallen Order.
Oh, yeah. I had played Fallen Order when it released back in, I think it was in October, back last year. I played it on the PC. I really enjoyed the game. Obviously, my contentions, I'm a big sci-fi guy, but I've always had a very, not negative, but I've attempted to get into the Star Wars, any media, and I can't seem to just attach myself to it the way people are. I don't, and I don't mean it insultingly. I just don't think it's good. I don't like it. Actually, let me not say it that way. I personally do not like it, and I don't want anyone to see it as, oh, you're just hating it because it's popular. Yeah. No, I give everything a fair shot, but I personally didn't like it. And the thing is, with Fallen Order, why I like that piece of media a lot was because it was a Metroidvania. Yeah. And Metroidvanias is something I love. I grew up with Samus. That was my first exposure to sci-fi. Right. And I loved every bit of that when I played because I played Zero Mission, and then I played Fusion. And I just ended up loving that kind of idea. And then when I found out as I got older that was a genre name, I was like, wow, this is great.
What a coincidence. You know, I like this.
Ori the Blind Forest. Like, this is my stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely would say, I don't know what you would give it. I gave it, like, I feel like personally a 6 out of 10. Really like the main character. His name is Cal. I can't remember his last name, but it's like Cameron something.
Diaz.
He's Ian from Shameless, and he plays Joker from Gotham, which are like his 2 like more like bigger roles. If you really like Shameless, he's like one of my favorite characters from the series from when I binge watched it all. I think he's really good. I think my only issue with Star Wars is that everybody looks really ugly, except like all the human characters in non-pre-render cutscenes look hideous.
Oh, and before she continues, she played this on PS4. Yeah. I played it on PC. Yeah. So we have that very different experience.
Like I first played it, I think for like an hour at your house on PC.
Oh, she basically, it was like a demo. Like a demo reel. Like she thought this was what it was gonna be when she got it. She was so excited, and when she got that thing and put it on the PS4, she's like, what have I done?
It was not like, I was like, wow, you know, it doesn't look that bad. I was like, maybe I'll enjoy this. And then I got it for PS4 and I popped it in and I was like, wow, this is just as ugly as I thought it was going to be.
Ouch.
I had a lot of issues on PS4 while you had like none of the issues I had.
I had nothing. Yeah. It was just perfect.
I went to the first 2 planets, no issues at all, had a very pretty decent time. I wouldn't really say fun time. I would say I had a decent time at the planet. Then we got to the Wookiee planet. Every time we would go to the Wookiee planet, because I'm pretty sure the reason why this happened was because the game couldn't process loading more than 3 NPCs at a time. It would freeze. Like, every time you would open up the door, Cal would just, like, freeze in mid-run, and it would do it for, like, a solid minute. Like,
the frame would just hit 0.
Yeah, it was, like, really, really bad. I also didn't like that planet because it had giant spiders, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, that sounds pretty personal to me.
I don't like it. Yeah, I think... I just don't think it was that great story-wise either. I would say probably maybe up until, like, the end era. Can we say Star Wars spoilers for this game? Because, like, I think the ending is where my bigger issue comes from, if you're cool with it.
No, so we're just going to put a spoiler warning here. We're going to speak about Jedi Fallen Order. If you haven't played it, we're going to give you, like, about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Then we're going to start talking about the ending.
Yeah, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why did Darth Vader show up at the end? What purpose did he have?
If I remember correctly, he was searching for that cube thing that Cal...
holochrome.
Yeah, the holochrome. And he wanted it so he could find the Force children that were studying as Padawans, because he didn't want them to exist because of Order 66, right?
Yeah, because this takes place like a couple of years after Episode 3. So at this point, the Jedi Purge has happened already. Like, Anakin has already become Darth Vader. Obi-Wan and Yoda and the other guy that was Leia's dad, like, kind of all went their separate ways because they were the only people left from, like, the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
So at this point, I guess Darth Vader has been around for, like, not super long. Because, like, you pointed out, too. You were like, well, did you, like, notice that no one knew who he was? Like, none of the characters were like, oh, that's Darth Vader.
Yeah, no, Cal was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, they're like, who the hell is this robot man?
Like the Dark Sister knew.
Yeah.
What was the name of the woman that was with you?
Sarah, something. Sierra?
Sierra.
I think it was Sierra. Sierra.
But she knew what he was capable of.
Yeah, because she got tortured by them.
Yeah. The only thing is, because my main reason is, like, the reason I think they did this is because most medium you never got to see Darth Vader at his strongest form, because all they would ever say is talk about it.
Yeah.
But in that one instance in the game, you get to see how strong he is with the Force in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, Cal can kind of, like, stop stuff, throw things.
Yeah.
This guy was destroying an entire building and crushing it like it was nothing.
Yeah, like, you could tell, like, obviously, like, where Darth Vader's power comes from is pure anger. Because, like, one, he's a man who is in constant pain, like, 24 hours a day, just because of, like, what happened to his body. I actually found out a very fun fact. You know Darth Vader can't sleep because since, like, that mask thing keeps going off, it keeps him up at night. So he doesn't sleep either.
Oh, he's just an angry man.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it was funny because you were telling me... So I was only interested in playing Jedi The Fallen Order because of Cal, because I really like that actor. So when I heard that he was in it, I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I love this guy. Like, I'll support it. And then I got into Star Wars because I had binge-watched every single Star Wars movie while we were in quarantine. Which the only one we liked was Rogue One, which apparently is the one nobody likes. But yeah, we were, you were saying to me, you're like, hey, you're probably gonna be, like, disappointed at the end of this game.
No, I straight up told you the plot is not gonna move anywhere.
It doesn't.
Because basically they're gonna get something and then they're just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, so basically, towards the end of the game, Cal, they get the holochrome, and it shows them, like, a list of all these kids who are Force sensitive to basically be the next generation of Jedi, since the Purge had already happened. So, like, all the Padawans, if you've ever seen Episode 3, Anakin killed all the Padawans that were in training. At that point, though, Cal, his Jedi power is if he holds, like, an item, he can, like, see, like, the past or the memories of this item. So when he saw the holochrome, he actually saw the future. And he saw what would happen if he were going to train these kids. And basically, he would train them, take them to where this temple was, still get caught by the Empire. And then he would die, and all the kids would get kidnapped and tortured. So because of that, they just end up destroying the holochrome at the end.
So the whole
game... And they go on an adventure somewhere.
Yeah. I thought I basically gave you the gist of that.
Yeah.
And it still disappointed you. I found that funny.
Literally when I saw that, because, like, they show you, like, what, like, it was probably, like, about, I would say, like, 2 hours before the game end. Like, they showed that scene, and I was like, great, we're not gonna do anything with this. And I was like, this is gonna go absolutely nowhere. I was like, great.
I knew when they announced that game, it was gonna end up being a character-driven story.
Yeah.
Basically, in the end, all be all, it was a great. Because I gave it at least a 7.5. I thought
a 6.
Because I think it was a great idea. I like the concept of integrating, the Souls-like mechanics, trying to do Metroidvanias.
That's like my least favorite part.
No, because they don't do it as well as the Souls games. So if you ever play the Souls games, you'll see the difference night and day. I assure you.
Oh, it was my least favorite. I think I was telling you too that like my fucking least favorite part was. So your save points are those meditation circles.
Those seals, yeah.
Yeah, so you like meditate and then you have a skill tree. But the only way you do have like items that Best Bro BB1, who's your little robot buddy that comes with you, he can like give you, but like you can only have a certain amount, and then the only way you can refill it is if when you're meditating, if you hit square, there's like a rest section. But if you hit rest, your HP and your items refill, but all the enemies will respawn. So there was one fucking part of the game where they put a meditation circle right before a boss fight, but they put enemies in front of the meditation circle. So every time you went to the meditation circle, you would heal. Now you would either have to run or fight these enemies, probably get hit in the end, and then have to go fight the boss. Because it didn't matter if you killed the enemies and healed yourself, because the enemies would have responded. So then you had to do it all over again. And I was like, fuck you. I was like, why would you put that there? I was like, why don't you put it in the room where the boss is? And I was like, you have a little hallway to walk to him. I was like, why don't you do that? I was like, you literally have a loading screen to get to him. Why don't you put it there? And then you had to do the loading screen all over again if you died, which I died several times.
I wonder how long it was on PS4.
Oh, the loading screen? Well, the loading screen is just how far he, like, shimmies, you know?
No, I'm saying, because when you die, it reloads, right?
That takes, like, 5 minutes.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's really bad.
Nah, but,
the load times are terrible.
My only problems with the game come more from the gameplay ideas. Yeah. Like, I love the conceptual nature of the Metroidvania in the 3D space. The only downside of the way they went about it is they wanted to make the rewards, they just weren't as fulfilling because you would just get cosmetic ponchos.
And, I hated them.
And the ships and the BD colors, but those were not enough to satisfy to make me want to go look for stuff. Because if I would get like one healing upgrade once in a blue moon, I just didn't think it was worth it.
It wasn't.
And I wanted to love that part of the game, but there was nothing fulfilling enough to make me go and look for stuff. And that was the only thing I was disappointed about. But otherwise, I enjoyed my time with the game. Obviously, when they make the second one, there's a lot of room to improve, and I'm excited to see how they do that.
I really hope they take feedback from like what people like have said and like what are, because I feel like obviously a lot of people probably agree what we said. Like, there's no like this game is not perfect, but I don't think it could just kind of get away with like a slap on the wrist. Like, I'm kind of glad I bought it like on a sale. Like, I only spent like $30 on Fallen Order, which like if I spent $60, I probably would have been a lot like probably would have gave it a worse score.
Yeah.
If I wasted $60 on it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it with Fallen Order, right?
Yeah. Did you want to talk about any other games you've been playing, or you want to roll off to Microsoft?
This summer has been very unique for me.
Yes, it has.
So, I tend to be a JRPG player, or RPGs. Like, anything with good stories is the things that kind of get to me. During this time frame after it beat FF7, I was kind of in a drought to like what I wanted to play, what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I could have replayed Xenoblade again, which would have been really fun. I would have enjoyed that.
Which you did buy.
I did buy it. I've been tackling it slowly.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to do something else because there's the quarantine's happening. There's got to be something I can look into. This is where I got into visual novels.
Yeah, he played like 5 or 4 visual novels like while we were in quarantine.
7 at this point.
7? Oh yeah, because you played the 3 of the Ooh games.
So no. So, the 3 those were 2.
Oh, there was 2 of them.
So I'm gonna attempt to pronounce this. Uta wa werumono. No, uta wa reru. Mono.
I call it ooh for short.
So I can't pronounce it, but basically
I'll put something in editing to show you what it is, because I don't think I was working at GameStop when this game came out, and I remember being like, I can't say that.
That's the title name for the series. the two games were called Mask of Deception and Mask of Truth. They are visual novels with strategy RPG elements imbued into the battle parts of the story. The first game, it starts off really interesting and it really grabs you at the beginning for the first hour and a half. You really want to know what's happening. Then it becomes very much like kind of a slice of life thing where they start to explain what's going on in the city. You get into a battle like in the first like hour, then you don't fight anything until like 10 hours later, which is a big pacing issue with that game. The first game starts very slow, but it gets interesting because the characters are fun. The world is very interesting, and it starts to get to you. By like the end half of the game, you start to get really into what they want to do because a coup d'etat happens. You're figuring out who did it. Things get very serious by the end. The name of the game, Mask of Deception, becomes very apparent to what it means when you beat that game.
Yeah, from what you were telling me now.
Yeah, it's a very powerful ending, and it's a very great story with a really good cast, and the main character develops very well from the first game to the second game. I consider him one of my favorite protagonists I've ever seen grow.
Yeah.
The thing is, after you beat the first game, you then go play the second game. I give the first game like a 7.5 because there's a lot of good in there, but what I would consider filler, someone may not consider filler.
Right.
It still does a great job of everything.
Right.
If you can get through that game, and you enjoy that game, and you get to Mask of Truth, which is the second game and the finale of the story, because so many questions get asked in the first game, they all get answered in the second game, and they answer them and then some.
Right.
When I finished that game's a 9.5.
Oh wow.
That game was amazing. If you are connected to the characters in the story, the game pays you in interest at the end.
It's also not just a visual novel. It also has like some gameplay.
That's what I'm saying.
To it. Yeah.
There's the strategy RPG mechanics because you actually do fight things and you see the character animations in battle are really well done. Like for the game of its budget, I didn't expect to actually have like weight and feeling when they would hit stuff. Like it actually put a lot of effort into that. I was very surprised about that. It's like a quick time mechanic where like you have to press X or A on the controller when you see a circle coming down or hold the button, and you'll get like really extra effects when you let go of the button or you hit the button. But the story is just so well done, and the main character is just so well done in that game. Then when you get to the ending and you see everything coming together, and it was a magical experience. Like that game left something like a really powerful impression with me. It's not many people have played it. And I consider it a niche game. I won't say it's like underrated at all. I know everyone should play it.
Right.
If you like good stories, you like good characters, and if you're okay with SRPG mechanics, then this is a game I would recommend. It is a visual novel first most.
For most of it.
No, I said that wrong.
It's okay.
Foremost.
There you go.
So as long as you're okay with just hearing the voice acting and the reading, you're fine there.
Yeah.
Then, because I beat that game, I was like, I really like this game.
Oh no!
I want to know.
You played after this.
I want to know what else is out there. So I got into Muv-Luv because I always heard about it from the visual novel world, and I wanted to know why it was ranked as number 1.
Right.
Because on VNDB, which is the visual novel database, it's ranked number 1. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the games to play. So there's Muv-Luv, Muv-Luv Unlimited, and Muv-Luv Alternative.
Yeah.
Muv-Luv is just a generic rom-com full of shenanigans, just slice of life nonsense.
Right.
But this is important because when you play that game, you give it like a 6 or a 7. Okay? You play Muv-Luv Unlimited. So the main character from that derpy rom-com world wakes up in a parallel Japan of the same year, 2001. On October 22nd, the day that everything started in the first game. He is now in a Japan that was invaded by an alien force known as the Beta. He thinks it's a dream, so he treats it like a dream for a good chunk of the first few hours. Then he comes to the realization, this is not a dream.
I'm here.
And the thing is, everyone else that was in that rom-com is in that universe, but they grew up under the alien threat.
Right.
So they're afraid of whatever's out there.
Right.
They're training to be military soldiers. And the thing is, the game kind of does this great gradual buildup of the threat of the beta because you never see them in the second game. You just know how bad it is.
Right.
Because your main character's reactions to it. Then you get a great, buildup of like the threat, right? That's all what Unlimited is how bad the threat is. You beat those 2 games, you go to Alternative. This is where it all happens. You get a big recap for like 6 hours, which I don't like that they did that.
But that's beside the point.
But they did that because they wanted to show you that, because what happens in that game is the main character in the second game, Unlimited, after everything he learned in that route, learning how to, because mechs get introduced into this, he learned how to pilot a mech, he learned how to be a soldier. Mm-hmm. That experience all comes back with him in Alternative.
Right.
So he's basically remembering every time he dies.
Oof.
So now in this one, he starts to diverge the timeline heavily. That's where it gets crazy. And if you can, and after you beat Alternative, you start to really feel as to why the first game was so important.
Right.
Because you miss when things weren't like that. Like when things were peaceful. When no one was dying.
I miss my rom-com anime.
Basically, you see from his view how crappy it is to go from living like a life like this, like how we enjoy our daily lives, to just be to having to deal with the stress of people dying around him all the time.
Right.
And death, and it was just really good. But I'll stop there. There was a few other things I played. I'm playing Tsushima, but
playing Higurashi.
Yeah, I played Higurashi.
Yeah.
That was something.
Yeah, you're still in the middle of that though. You don't have all the pieces to that probably yet.
I'm like there's 8. I have 2 pieces out of the way. I have to get through the rest of them. I'm gonna try to get them out of the way. But I've been enjoying those 2.
Yeah, you were like back to back to back with visual
novels.
Yeah, Tsushima
I kind of
was
took
like
a break.
I was gonna say, Ghost of Tsushima is like your break from visual novels right now, because like basically this entire summer, all you did was play was visual novels. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna like drinking that? No. I have seltzer water next to me. Jeffrey doesn't like it, but he's really thirsty.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it. I don't think I have water up here for you. I'm sorry. Are you gonna steal my drink?
Yep.
No.
No, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Thanks. But yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Broke the cup. Not broke, but dropped the cup holder again. You can drink it. It's fine.
I'll get a bit. Don't worry.
Thanks, son. There you go, bubby.
Dang it.
But yeah. All right. So I think that's good for what our currently playing is for now.
Yeah.
As you can see, since we were gone for so long, we were definitely playing like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And if you guys get a chance, just let us know what you've been playing.
Yeah, let us know. Jeffrey definitely will probably listen to your recommendations. I probably won't.
No. Trying to get her to try something is the worst.
But yeah. All right. So we'll roll in to the Microsoft, the game reveal. So they didn't talk about the console really at all.
No.
They didn't talk about price. They didn't talk about date. I'm really hoping. Same thing for PlayStation, by the way. Like they didn't talk about anything about the console. It was strictly just the games for the consoles.
I remember that. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go.
Because I told you and Sandy when we were watching it together. I was like, they're not gonna say the price.
Oh, when we were watching the other one.
When we were watching PlayStation, I was like, they're not gonna say the price. I promise you, they're not gonna say the price. You guys were so dead set that they were gonna do it.
I'm pretty sure by next month they're gonna say it. Like,
they have to.
They have to.
Because it's gonna come out in November.
Yeah. Like I'm sorry. So the one thing that they started off, which was pretty cool, so Microsoft has something called a Gamer Pass, where basically, this rolled in, I think like a year ago, like last E3, they were or like 2 years ago, they rolled it out, where it was basically, you could pay like $5 a month or $10 a month, depending on the package you wanted to get. And you had like a lot of games that you could get for free. Like they had like Halo, Gears, like all like the big, I think like Seas of Thieves at the time, so it was like new and you could get it for free on Gamer Pass, which was a big deal. But everything that they had, pretty much almost everything, there was like a 2 or 3 things that they showed during this that won't be available for Game Pass, but pretty much everything they showed will be for Gamer Pass. So if you have PC and Xbox, you could pay the $14.99 one, and you could have it on your Xbox and your PC. And then I think the $4.99 one and the $10.99 one, you have to choose either one or the other. Like one has to either be for Xbox or one has to be for PC. So that was like pretty cool. They did show off Halo Infinite. It went on for like 15 minutes. Which I think that was 15 minutes too long.
Because, like, with Infinite, I don't have a problem with Halo.
It looks so ugly.
my biggest issue with Infinite is just, obviously, people might consider this a good thing.
Yeah.
it looks too much like how Halo 3 was.
Oh.
And basically it doesn't feel like much changed.
Other big thing. They did say this in the press conference. What they showed is a demo from 4 months ago.
And that's fine.
Yes, because obviously with COVID and everything, they can't, I guess, like, nobody was really in the office, so they couldn't really make anything, and this was already planned ahead of time.
Because those builds...
Because E3 would have been out by now. So they made it very point. They're like, this isn't new, it's from 4 months ago. But in my brain, I was like, who gives a fuck? It's only 4 months ago. I was like, what do you mean it doesn't look that great?
Because it's based on stability, what they can show.
Yeah.
Is the builds that they work with. But, you know, I'll judge it, like, in that moment just to see what it's about.
Yeah.
But I'll never fully judge it till, like, its release date.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I see a trailer a month before and that's how it's releasing, we
That's
have
bad.
a problem, you know?
You don't have a month. You technically, if it's coming out holiday, you technically have about 2 to 3 more months.
Yeah.
If you think about it. Yeah, it looked okay. I thought the main villain kind of looked like a PS2 character, though, but I guess, again, that's because it's from a demo from 4 months ago.
I don't know. I saw how great the facial animations were, and I was like, that's cool, but I don't like how that guy looks.
I saw how great the facial animations looked on Master Chief's face.
No, on that freaking villain.
I know.
You know he's not even unique.
He's not. Isn't he an old villain?
No, I'm talking about Master Chief.
Oh, no.
He's not unique.
Isn't
Like, there's so many, like, they all have the same kind of name, but they just call him Master Chief.
Isn't his name like John Smith or something like that too?
I don't know.
Or just John.
I don't have a lot of Halo lore.
I don't want it. Yeah, we're not big Halo fans, but, like, I thought maybe... I have to say, PS4 had, like, some games that were very... I think there was only one game that it's going to come up much later that we were talking about where we're like, yeah, this is something that's showing off next gen, you know? I don't think Halo is something that's making me go, wow, can only be done on the Xbox Series X. Like, it could have... No. Yeah, so, again, no date. They still... Because here's the thing. They're probably going to have Halo come out as a launch title along with the Xbox Series X. So they're probably not going to show a date for Halo until the Xbox Series X gets an announcement date.
Yeah.
So there's no date for it. They did show State of Decay 3. You looked kind of interested in it when we were watching it.
Like, I like the idea, but their gameplay implementations of their past 2 games, I didn't like them.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what they do. But yeah, other than that, it wasn't like it was crazy for me.
They got Zombie Deer.
Zombie Deer was fun. That was the most fun I've had in a while.
Yeah, right? Like, throughout the entire trailer, like, you see, like, these wolves and everything, and you think the main character's gonna get eaten, and then you see the wolves get eaten by a zombie deer.
It was great.
And you're like, oh.
Nature, come on.
I'm skipping Forza, because we don't care about it.
It looked really pretty.
It did. I think, honestly, it looked better than Gran Turismo.
No, honestly, like, the reflections, the ambient inclusion,
Yeah.
the volumetric lighting, like, that game looks great. I'm like, damn, that looks mad good. I don't play racing games.
I don't like racing
but
games.
that game looks good.
But it's a racing game.
Yeah.
They showed Everwild.
That game was pretty.
That game was very pretty.
Like, the amount of lights, the amount of colors, the character designs, the monster designs, pretty.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I would say, I think, yeah, that was one of the games that's going to be in an Xbox Gamer Pass, which is nice, so if you get it. I think, actually, oh, that's right, we have, like the E3, like, thing up so we can, like, double-check what came out or not.
Yeah.
So far, Halo Infinite, State of Decay, Forza, and Everwild will be part of the Xbox Gamer Pass, which is great if you want to try out any of these, because you can pay like $5 to $10 and you can get them.
It's great because
Yeah.
the developers themselves have talked about how that's been very helpful.
Yeah.
Because the exposure that they got because of the people even trying their game
Yeah.
was really good. Like, you know, Celeste.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's great. Yeah, Everwild looked really pretty. I don't think, though, it's coming to anything except for Xbox, but we have PCs.
Probably. It's going to be on PC.
Yeah, so we can play it on PC.
Oh, like
But
the
yeah.
Xbox ecosystem.
Yeah. But it looked like you're 4, like, monks or, like, spiritual, like, people with the woods, and you're kind of, like, building back this relationship with the wild.
It seems
the
like
animals.
The way I saw it was more of like they maintain balance. Of they
Yeah.
understand what they need to do to help the creatures in this world.
Yeah, and then there's like this big spirit, like deity that they like. go
Yeah,
back
there's
to.
like deities to like certain creatures.
I did try looking up some info for it. There's not a lot out
Yeah.
on it, so this is just like kind of going by with the trailer. But yeah. But next, they Don't Nod showed Tell Me Why. This they announced like a while ago. I think Microsoft just happens to have the marketing rights for Don't Nod, or like Don't Nod just prefers to show off most of their games on like Microsoft, because they're never really shown on like the PlayStation platform, even though they're like a multi-platform like game. I really like it. I like the Life is Strange series, even though it definitely has like cringy moments. But I thought this one was really interesting. It's two twins. They were originally born as twin sisters. One of the twins has transgendered from female to male. And for some reason, they are both seeing memories from their past. And it also looks like that they also see the different, like, stuff they didn't get to see. Because most of the memories, obviously, is from their perspective. So it's kind of like, in a sense, like, I guess you could say it's like Life is Strange, where they have powers and everything, but it's not connected to the Life is Strange series. But it looks really cool. It's coming out the end of this month. I think the August 27th it's coming out. It only has 3 chapters, which most, if you've played Life is Strange, there are always 5 chapters. As of right now, I think it's actually a time exclusive. So I think it's only coming to like the Microsoft Store and Xbox One and Xbox Series X for right now. Because I like was trying to check and see when it was coming to PlayStation, and it doesn't have a date for PlayStation yet. So,
okay, I wouldn't be able to say yes or no because I didn't look into it.
Yeah, when I was like trying to do research for them, like I was looking up articles and everyone's like, I think it's a time exclusive, and I was like, all right, that's cool.
Then they showed Ori, so the reason I got excited for this, because they're making it 120 frames now with 1440p upscaling.
Yep.
All right, so if anyone gets the Xbox Series X and you want to utilize the frame rates, you have to make sure that the TV you have, whether if it's a 4K TV, has something called an HDMI 2.1 slot.
Right.
So the reason you need that is because the data transfer rate on HDMI 1.0 is 18 gigabits per second. HDMI 2.1 is 40 gigabits per second. That's what allows computers sending data from the graphics card to the DP port, display port, to your monitor to do those higher frame rates. That's why most consoles can't do them now.
Yeah.
But now with how the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are not going to be capable, because TVs will now have the HDMI port as well. You may need to set that up. They may not explain that well, but if anyone watches this, I just want you to know about that.
Yeah.
I was glad that they showed it at 120 frames because it looks really pretty. I'm gonna get a chance to play this down the line. I'm gonna play it at 144. I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, it looks really good. Outer Worlds is getting its first DLC. You played it for a little bit, right? Outer Worlds? You got it for PC.
I got 80% into this game.
Yeah.
I like this game. But it was pretty obvious that there wasn't a lot of organic motion with character storytelling, because you could be the good guy or the bad guy. There was no real like gray thing, like how, because it was marketed as like this great game made by the people that made Fallout New Vegas. They definitely did.
What is the name of the company again?
Obsidian.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Obsidian. The next couple of games, you could tell they were kind of like, fuck you, Bethesda.
Yeah, in a way.
Especially with this one, like this came out like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Outer Worlds. Yeah.
It was a fun game. It was an RPG first. It was a shooter second. It was fun. I'm not gonna get the DLC, not because I didn't dislike the game. I don't think it's worth getting for me. I got what I wanted out of that 80%. Yeah. Then they showed more of Grounded, which is the one game that people were like, what is this? A survival game?
They were making fun of it, too, when they were showing it.
Because people were making fun of it. It's like, if you don't want to play us because we're not a great RPG, go play Cyberpunk instead.
Yeah, they were. That's what they said.
That was so funny.
They're like, little do they know we can't because Cyberpunk got delayed.
Yeah.
It would have been out, though.
Exactly.
If that came out.
And then,
yeah, it was really weird. It reminded me of that movie,
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then there was like another movie where it was like a kid got shrunk down and he hung out with ants all day. Like, that's what it reminded me of. Yeah, it's like a kid game, so it's, don't expect anything too crazy from it.
The thing with that game, a lot of people that are big time fans of not Bethesda, Obsidian, were very adamantly displeased with the game because they have a perception of the company which tends to be like Western RPGs, sci-fi shooter, right? So the game came out, everyone started playing it. They're like, wait, this game's actually good. And now they've completely...
Grounded?
Yeah.
Oh,
People
wow.
like that game. It's actually really well received.
That's funny.
Then they announced Avowed, which is basically them saying, yeah, so we're going to make Skyrim all the way.
That's so funny. Oh yeah, I forgot technically Grounded was out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they basically are like, fuck you, Bethesda. We're gonna do whatever we want to do now. Because did you see, like, after this conference came out, that on Bethesda's, like, their YouTube channel and, like, all this other stuff.
They removed everything with New Vegas.
Yeah, they removed everything from New Vegas. And you could tell they're, like, super salt about it. Like, I was like, you guys are big babies. I'm like, stop.
This section was basically just the Obsidian section.
Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah, it was like 3 games in a row.
Because they're the first party for Microsoft now.
Yes.
They got bought with the acquisition from last year when they showed off all the new studios that they like even Ninja Theory's part of them now.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it's exciting to see what they're gonna come up with. I'm excited. I like their games. I've been playing Pillar of Eternity like on and off, and I'm liking that as well.
Yeah, and again, all 3 actually up until Ori. Tell Me Why is not part of it, but these are also all part of the Gamer Pass as well. So if you do get it,
yeah, when you're first party at that point, you become
yeah. The next one they showed was like another one I would think I was really interested in, which is As Dusk Falls. It again kind of reminds me of like a Life is Strange. It seems like your 2 characters, you're a young female and a male. Your young female, looks like at one point you went on vacation with your family and you're at a gas station. And then you get the perspective of the young male's perspective, and him, his older brother, and his father are robbing the gas station that your family are at. And it looks like whatever decision his family had made inflicted her decisions. And they were, like, young. Like, she looked like she was maybe, like, 12 or 11. And then same thing for him. He was, like, 12 or 11. And the trailer ends with the male being, like, much older, like, probably in his 20s. He opens up the door, and she's there. And she's like, I have questions. And it seems like she wants to figure out, like, why did he do this? Like, why did his family do it? And answer these questions. It's got a really unique art style. It's like realistic.
It's like oil painting in motion.
Yeah, it's really
like
cool.
It.
Yeah.
I hope it turns out good.
I think I'll probably grab.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to get it. It is an Xbox exclusive,
No
though.
way.
So I do have to.
It's going to be on PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm probably going to have to get it on PC because obviously we don't have an Xbox. But yeah, it looks really good. They did show Senua Saga 2 Hellblade.
Yeah, they showed more of it.
Yeah.
Ninja Theory pretty much talked about it.
No PS5.
Yeah, because they got
bought out.
Yeah, so they're first party to Microsoft, so that'd be a given.
Yeah, which is funny.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. Well, if they make unique good games, I don't care who makes them.
Yeah. So yeah, that was nice. Psychonauts 2, Jack Black's working on the game.
He's doing the theme song.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That was literally the entire trailer for Psychonauts 2. It was just Jack Black in a booth and he was just singing like how Jack Black does.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, cool. That's great. I literally wrote in my notes, Psychonaut 2. It's coming 2021. Jack Black's there.
Yeah.
That's what I literally wrote for my notes. Jack Black was there. Yeah, they showed like a couple of like gameplay stuff during it and some cutscenes, but it wasn't really like anybody talking more about Psychonauts 2 because Jack Black was just singing the entire time. Which I thought was like a little upsetting.
The game's been in development for quite a while.
Yes.
I'm glad it's finally getting very near release.
Yes, thank God. I mean, it says 2021, so.
No, yeah, but it's good for fans because they can have a second game to actually go through.
A closure of sorts.
You know, I hope it turns out good. And then the next game that they showed for me made me go, yes, was Stalker 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because I played the Metro games 2 years ago. I played the Last Light, and then I played 2033, then I played Last Light.
Right.
I really enjoyed my time with them. I really liked them a lot. Then I played Metro Exodus, and I really loved that game too.
Right.
Those experiences with those games make me a big fan of that studio. I think it's 401 Studios. If I can be totally wrong about that, please correct me. But if they implement the things that they took from Exodus and from the other 2 Metros, I think I'll really enjoy Stalker 2.
Yeah.
Stalker 1, I tried to give it a good shot. I played a good 2 hours of it. I just couldn't get into the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because I really like Metro, and it made me want to go back to that. But I'm excited. I hope it turns out good.
Yeah. They showed Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide.
We don't know about that.
I don't care either.
I wouldn't even say it like that. I'm just like, I just don't know about it.
Like,
I'm not gonna speak about something I don't know.
I was like, again, because I did a lot of like looking into all this stuff, and I was just like, whatever, man. I was like, you do you, man. I don't even think I wrote it in yellow font for some reason. Oh yeah, because I wrote my notes for Stalker 2 was it was coming out in 2021, and then I wrote that it's spooky to remind myself that it's a scary game.
Post-apocalyptic world.
And then for Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide, I wrote another spooky.
Nice.
That was my note for it, which is like a horror survival game.
And then the big one that really caught your eye.
Tetris.
No.
Tetris Effect. Tetris Effect connected, where we were watching it and the music started playing. We were like, oh, Tetris.
Nah, cause I remember when the Medium got announced, you liked the concept of it.
Medium looked so cool.
Yeah, and then they showed that trailer where I even explained like they're gonna make 2 split screens to solve the puzzle. They actually talked about it in a previous trailer saying we couldn't release this game in modern consoles because the concept wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, what could that possibly mean? They never clarified it in that trailer. But in the most recent one, this one's the dual reality trailer.
Yeah.
You see what they mean now. One, you can phase from the world singularly.
Yeah.
Or you can split screen it to have one in the spirit world, one in the normal world.
Yeah.
To then solve puzzles.
It's really cool. It looks really good. I literally remember we were watching this together, and I was like, that's fucking sick.
The soundtrack is going to be composed by the gentleman that did Silent Hill 2.
Oh, that's right.
So that's going to be a big sell for people.
Yes. I think it was... Yeah, like I was just trying to look at my notes. Yeah, I think... I was literally looking at that. I don't think I've really been excited for like an Xbox game like ever except for like that. I was like that, and it's also Gamer Pass, so if we do end up getting it. Sometimes, by the way, Gamer Pass, they'll have like sales where it'll be like, oh, you can spend like $1 a month.
Well, yeah, that's the free trial kind of situation.
That's nice.
Then they announced Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, which is basically a modernized version of Phantasy Star 2.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty gorgeous.
Except for the main character. He looked ugly.
Yeah, you can customize all that.
He looked really bad.
But it looked really interesting because they really upped the graphics and animations. The neon lights are really banging. I'm really enjoying what they're going for. I hope it turns out good. I actually want to start playing the MMO just to get my toes wet to see what it's all about.
But yeah, after Phantasy Star Online, they did show Crossfire, but
I'll look into that one later.
Yeah.
Then they announced the return of the boy Fable. I hope it's good because like the first one was enjoyable for people. I just hope that the return Fable turns out really good. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, they're kind of like redoing everything. Like redoing the first... I guess like they're basically redoing the first Fable.
Yeah, it's a reboot.
Yeah, which I'm kind of glad because I got Fable Anniversary for Xbox 360 when I really wanted to get into Fable, and Guy was that nightmare fuel.
Yeah, you guys... It was like they told you that all these things that it would do, and it did nothing.
Me and my friend Michael played it, and we were like, everybody has Jay Leno chins. We're like, why does everyone look like Jay Leno? Why do the children look like him? Like, it just was not. Yeah, I've never been like a big Fable. I've had many friends who loved Fable, but I think it's more because they played the second one, and I think they really enjoyed that one. Because I think I think all of them you could choose like a good or bad side. But I think the second one was just more of like you had better choices for it. But that was pretty much it for Microsoft. I know we kind of breezed through it, but to be honest, there wasn't a lot of stuff that was very exciting. I mean, we're just gonna jump right into PlayStation. I kind of felt the same way for it. I think there was like a couple of things I was like really excited for, and then the rest I was just whatever. Yeah, they started off showing Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time. I was very weary about it at first, but you kind of like cleared a little bit of it up for me.
Yeah, because she basically, when she heard 4, she had PTSD about the original 4.
Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
And when she said that, I was like, no. They explained that it was basically a brand new Crash Bandicoot 4, a sequel to that one that came out at the time. It's basically branded as a kind of a replacement of the original 4.
Yeah, so it's not made by Vicarious Visions this time, though.
No, it's
by Toys for Bob's.
Toys for Bob, right?
Toys for Bob's is the company that made Skylanders, which they did had a Crash Bandicoot section, which is why if you look at Crash from the first 3 the remake games, He looks a little bit different in this one. It's just because it's a different company. Actually, there's 2 companies working on this game. So there is a part in the game where it looks all normal and fine. And then there's another section of the game where it looks inverted. And I guess, like, the powers and everything are different. And there's a separate company working on that. And I was like, that's really interesting.
No, yeah. It looks really pretty in motion, though, in my opinion. I actually think the game looks great.
Yeah. It is similar, though, to Wrath of Cortex. Because, like, the whole, thing for that one was, it wasn't just, like, Uka Uka and Aku Aku, like, the 2 masks throughout that game. It had, like, different masks. And it looks like they're bringing back that for this game. Where there's different masks and their characters. You do get to play more characters besides Crash. They did say, like, you can play as Coco. She's going to actually be part of the story.
You can play her the whole game, too.
Yeah, they said, but they actually wanted to put her, like, in the story, like, instead of just having her as a swap-out character.
No, I gotcha.
You can play as Cortex and Dingo Dial.
That was the funny one.
Yeah, Dingo Dial really, like, threw me for a loop on that one. There's different outfits you can have in your game. They said this game's gonna have no microtransactions.
Which is great.
Yeah, that's really nice. And it's actually coming out this year, October 2nd. Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I probably will pick it up day one just to try it. I love Crash.
As long as it's not Wrath of Cortex.
Yeah, it's not Wrath of Cortex. I don't know. That's the other thing. Like, sometimes I'm like, maybe I'll pick it up day one. And sometimes I'm like, maybe we'll see how reviews went.
Then they announced the Hitman trilogy in VR.
Yeah, it's literally just it in VR.
I can't wait to see the nonsense people are going to do and the way they kill people in VR. I think it's perfect game for it because think of Grand Theft Auto and the freedom you can do stuff.
But you're bold.
Yeah, and you can kill people.
Like
and get no, but you can hide it and get away with it.
Yeah, you can't do that in GTA.
Then they showed Braid.
Yeah, see, Braid came out at the time where I really wasn't playing games, so like this is something like I kind of missed. I know it was really big in like the 360 and like PS. I think
it was basically one of those big indie games.
Yeah, like I unfortunately was just never a big like Braid fan. I know it has to do with time and like traveling back in time and forward in time and things like that.
Yeah, when you mess up a puzzle, you go back.
Yeah, I just sadly wasn't a big Braid fan. I don't think it had a date. No, but they did say that they're adding it does, obviously they're gonna make it look pretty, but they're actually adding director's commentary into the game.
Yeah.
Supposedly they said it's gonna be the most longest commentary that any video game has ever had. That's what they said, not my words. But yeah, it's coming both to PS4 and PS5, which is great. Spelunky 2, I would say the same thing. It was another one of those indie games that I missed, and I just never got into it. So when they were showing this, I was like, oh, I know it. That's it. I know it.
I know there's an appeal to it, but I won't play it to know.
Yeah, like I'm okay with not knowing a thing. So they actually showed, I know you're looking at this, but they did show something that they're not showing on here. The Pathless. The Pathless was that open world game where you were the girl in red, and you had the eagle.
Yeah, that was made by the person who made Abzu.
Yeah.
The director.
When I first watched the State of Play, I kind of wasn't really paying attention to it, and then when I went back to like write all the notes,
it looks really nice, right?
It looks really nice.
Remember when I showed
I'm really mad I didn't pay attention to it at first.
I told you the first trailer, remember? Yeah. I was like, isn't this awesome? At first, it happens so often with you. It happened with the Automata, too. You were like, it looks okay. I'm like, what do you mean? It looks great.
It looks really cool. You can pet the bird. Yeah, it's like an open world. I just like how they move, how they run. They just look really flashy and everything like that. It just looked really nice.
Yeah, and then there was a few games they showed. There was this one game called Aeon Must Die that they showed. I really liked the way this one looked, but there was a lot of information that came out after about this. Everything in this trailer is not true. This is not a game.
What is it?
It's just animations that were sent out from a third party company. The developers of this game made a Dropbox file that explained everything that happened.
Oh.
Everyone got fired, unpaid overtime.
Oh my god.
Publisher stole the IP.
Yes, you were telling me about this the other day. Yeah. Yes.
Aeon Must Die. Do not get this game if you see this because you are directly encouraging the IP, the companies that stole that IP. You're giving them money for something that's not made by the original developers.
That's terrible.
From a moral standpoint, I plead not to go through with this game.
Yeah.
If you have any interest in it, please just act like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Then they showed a game called Anno. This is basically like a Ghost in the Shell cyberpunk kind of 2D voxel art game. It looks beautiful. The animation of her running looks derpy. I love it. It's a very small, unique game. I followed the person on Twitter that's made this for a while.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one that follows you back?
No. That was someone else. That was it was just someone else.
Oh, okay. I know one of the guys we were watching this stuff. You were like tweeting about it, and they like followed you back.
I think it was for the comfy games.
I think it was for the comfy games. Yeah. Because like when Nintendo had like that small indie direct, you were like tweeting about it, and the guy was like, "Yeah."
Because it was the indie direct, and then there was the comfy direct.
Yeah.
Because they had their own thing for comfy games. Remember?
That was fun.
Yeah, I like that one.
The next one they showed was Genshin Impact. So I saw it and I was like, oh my god, like that looks really cool. It's an MMO.
Yeah, I told you that from the beginning.
I know, but when I saw it at the State of Play, I was like, that looks really cool. And then when I was looking up stuff for it, I was like, oh, it's an MMO.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the pedestrian.
Well, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if will you play it if I get it?
Obviously.
It's free. Well, doesn't mean anything.
Literally, you're a girlfriend. If you say, "Hey, let's play this," okay.
Boyfriend, will you play video game with me?
Yeah.
Please?
At this point, you guys got me playing Destiny.
It's true. Yeah, I saw the pedestrian. I guess it's you look like one of the bathroom signs.
Yeah, no, it's like the little stick figure.
Yeah.
And it goes through each little sign to solve a
You look
puzzle.
like the men and women bathroom sign. That's
Yeah.
what it look like. And it's a puzzle game.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
I'll probably get it during a discount, but it looks very fun.
They did show. Let's see. Oh, Star Wars, Vader Immortal. Oh, I can't read my own handwriting. It's up here. Give me a minute. There you go. Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series. It's Star Wars and it's VR, so it's probably gonna look bad.
Yeah.
It comes with this once too. It really wasn't anything like super crazy or anything like that. Temtem looked kind of cool.
Yeah. It's basically a version of their take on Pokemon. They're trying to, not dethrone, but they're trying to make alternatives, and it's an MMO.
Right.
Because people have always asked for a Pokemon MMO. Now we're gonna get it. Let's see if people support it. Hopefully they do support it.
Yeah, I thought the people looked really weird, but I thought the creatures looked really cute.
Yeah, they look really nice.
Yeah. I think I might get. That's something again I probably would get. It is an MMO also.
Just know it's releasing on early access.
Yeah, so like, it's not gonna be like the finished thing if you're looking to get it. Yeah. Besides that, like, there really wasn't a lot of, like, other stuff. Like, Control's getting its, I think it's first DLC?
No, that's the second one.
Second one, yeah.
The thing that makes this one interesting is you remember Alan Wake?
Yeah.
So, that DLC is dedicated to Alan Wake's situation in his town.
Oh, wow.
Because at the end of that trailer, he says, the thing he says is, he's like, make sure not to turn off the lights.
Oh, because he has the flashlight.
Yeah, so he's just giving her
advice.
Exactly.
That's cool. I mean, that's nice for people to play Alan Wake. Because I know you weren't super big into
I loved Alan Wake a lot.
Yes, I know you liked Alan Wake.
It's funny.
That was like your first PC game you got.
Dude, that was like my PC version, like getting popped by Alan Wake and his flashlight. He literally showing that thing on me, and he's like I played that thing at, like ultra everything. I had like a 180p screen at the time. It was my big, at 60 frames. I was like, yo, this game was dope, and I just played it and I had a great time with it.
But
then they showed Godfall.
Yeah, they ended it with Godfall.
You know the funny thing is, like, I think the game looks fine, and I think it looks like it'll be fun. The one thing that really caught me off guard, there's no microtransactions.
Yeah.
They said the game's gonna be complete with everything in on release. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So I don't know if that means they're not planning to have DLC for the game, or if they do have DLC for the game, they're not gonna make you pay for it. So I don't know.
And I hope it turns out good. Every time I look at the game, something always feels a little bit off. But the thing is, the design of the armor looks so good.
Yes, I agree.
I love the look of the game, so I hope I can put up with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Borderlands, it's just
with swords.
It's a looter with swords. Like, it's a slasher looter. I think that's what they best describe it as. Yeah. The co-op though can only go up to 2 other people.
Yeah, so it's 3 in total.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised because
there's only 3 classes.
No, I think it's more of just what's going on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, that what I would have to say that was probably about it for, like, both, like, Microsoft and both, like, Xbox. They're really, again, like, it was really unfortunate that I feel like there was nothing really that wowed us. Like, again, like, I'm okay with Crash, and, you know, like, we're not big Halo fans, you know, the Medium was probably the more exciting thing, just because it's different, you know?
Where's our JRPGs?
Where's my JRPGs
Where are my good visual novels? Where?
Sony, you're supposed to give me these. You promised me these all the time. No,
honestly, if they showed Cyberpunk, I would be all over that right now.
Yeah, we're kind of getting now to the dry period of game announcements. Usually once summer is over, you don't see a lot of announcements. It's a lot of stuff coming out after this. See, summer is like the dry period of stuff coming out, but like things are constantly being announced, and it's, you know, all these new things that they're talking about in the future. And then holiday till probably again, like probably like, I would say April, it gets dry again. Like quarter 3 tends to be like end of quarter 2, beginning, and the rest of quarter 3. There's not usually a lot of stuff that comes out. And then of course, obviously with COVID going on and now, a lot of stuff got delayed in the meantime. Like Cyberpunk ended up getting delayed. I feel like something else we were trying to play got delayed too. Like a whole
oh, you know what's a game?
7 got delayed.
There's a game I totally forgot to talk about.
What?
13 Sentinels.
That's right.
That's a game made by Vanillaware. And it's going to be a visual novel 2D game, but they use this very, very beautiful art aesthetic with all their games.
You're doing great. Don't worry about it. I just remembered this thing I wanted to talk about, and it's gone.
No, it's
Isn't that the one that's made by the people who made Danganronpa?
No, not at all.
What is that one?
No, that's by Spike Chunsoft. It's made by that team. The one I'm talking about. Oh my god, I forgot the name. Odin's Sphere, the game you bought me.
Yes, now I remember what you're
and Dragon's Crown.
Yes.
Those you know that artwork in those games?
Yes.
That's what their games look like.
Yes,
and they've been very
like
consistent.
That 2D, 3D artwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've been very consistent with that look. This one's going to be a sci-fi story. The Japanese release was about a year ago. Everyone's talked about how positive it's been. That game got announced in 2013.
Look where we are now, boys. Almost 10 years
I can't
later.
believe it's actually... And this is the best part. It was supposed to come out on September 8th. Then the news article was like, it got delayed. I was like, oh, wow, I can't wait to get it like 2021. It got delayed to like 2 weeks later. That's not a delay. That's not even that bad.
I've seen worse.
FF15.
I waited 15 years for FF15. 15 years!
No, but other than that, it's been pretty good. I'm happy to, when the consoles come out, I'm definitely gonna get a PS5 on release.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see what revolves around that.
I won't. I'll live off you.
Yeah, basically, moocher.
Jeffrey could come over and play on
No.
your PS5.
No.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna assume like our next couple episodes for couples night, they're probably gonna be either like more talking about what we're currently playing, or things we're looking forward to. Just because again, like this is kind of gonna be like a dry period for us. There's probably not a lot of stuff that's gonna get announced unless Nintendo pulls another direct out of somewhere, which a lot of people are thinking there's going to be, but a lot of people say a direct's going to come out every week at this point.
Yeah, no, basically. Other than that, if you have any questions or if there's something you want us to add, like if there's any other topics you want us to throw in there, I know mostly we've been talking about games, but we tend to watch like anime and shows, so
Yeah.
if there's something you want us to like, talk about or view as a kind of a secondary topic, just let us know.
Yeah, couples night obviously it doesn't always have to be about video games. It's just our life tends to wrap around video games.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say that would wrap up this episode of couples night.
Yeah. I think we're pretty good.
Yeah. I'm your host Kathleen.
And I'm going to bed.
And we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.